Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, and welcome back to the Lift with your Auntie Sheila. We've got it all on this channel. We got the mental health, the inspiration, the liberation, and the best relationship advice around. So if you're loving what I'm doing, please don't forget to subscribe and share the news of the channel with your friends and family. Let's dive right in. I received a note from Janice, and I want to thank you because Janice, you are the inspiration for today's title as well as the message. You know, how to stop letting what other people think about you hold you back. I think a lot of people, when you hear that, you can relate. And let me just read Janice's letter and give you some fuel for your mind, heart, body, soul, and spirit. Okay, here we go. Dear Sheila, thanks for taking the time to read this note. I feel so controlled and constrained by what other people think. I just got through nursing my second baby, and I love her, but was near bullied into getting pregnant because of all the pressure to give my other child a sibling. I wanted to stop with one child. I was happy with one, and now I see why. Will I do my best for this new baby? Of course. But this pattern of being overly concerned with what others think is affecting every area of my life. I wanted a simple ranch house, but live in a space that is way too big because someone thought it was a good idea. My circle of friends has been my circle for over 20 years, and I don't enjoy them the way I used to, yet we socialize a few times a month. I have some new friends through work. They are a lot different than me in many respects, but there's a strong connection there. I'd rather spend my free time growing those new connections, but what will everyone think? I feel like if I don't do something to change how I'm living, there will be nothing left for me. How do I stop caring about what others think of me and get rid of the anxiety I have about letting others down? Janice. Janice, look, this, you know, I read the letter and it just something struck me because I'm like, wow, there's so many elements in your letter that remind me of my once upon a time. And I'm not just talking to Janice, I'm speaking to everyone who has, you have, maybe it's, you know, this energy runs on a continuum. Maybe you just have a little bit of that energy you need to work out. Like, Sheila, I've done some work here, but I still need some deeper level work in this area of holding myself back because of what people think. And, you know, others, I need a full blown makeover. You know, certainly none of us are perfect. It's a process, but I'm reminded of a story, and then I'm going to get into three things I want you to implement immediately. Um, I can remember as a little child coming of age, I share a lot of stories with all of you about childhood and growing up because honestly, that's where most of these heavy patterns that we're living out, most of them start during the tender years, the early years. And we make these unconscious because we really don't know enough to be conscious about the agreements that we're making. And we just go ahead and live them out. And we fuse the agreements with the stories, and there we're off to the races. So I went to school with a lot of children who they weren't rich per se. Maybe a couple of them were, but most of them were not rich. They just had more, a lot more than me. You know, our family, we just, you know, the kind of situation they were in and we were in was dramatically different. And I did not fit in. I really didn't. It was a desire and a goal of mine to fit in, but that situation, you know, the cards were stacked against me in that regard. So what I did as a young child, I made an unconscious agreement with myself. And that agreement was to, Sheila, do your best to blend in, don't rock the boat. You are not good enough. You're not like these people. You're never going to be good enough. And, you know, that was the agreement that I lived out for a very long time. What started as an agreement inside of a story became an orientation. It really became a persona. It was just the way I live. Just be as good as you can, blend in, be as nice as you can. Your voice does not matter. You're not on par with the people in the room. So it was a powerful paradigm that moved throughout my history with me until 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 and this is Janice and everyone who's listening. This is the power play moment. This is the critical piece of all of this. Until I stopped and I did the work. It started with an observation. And that's how most transformations begin. They have to start somewhere. And generally, it begins with noticing. I took a deep breath. There came a pocket in my life where I could take a deep breath and really start to look at the debilitating circumstances that were created from the story inside of the agreement that came a way of living, thinking, and being. I was in a relationship I had no business being in, a constant low grade anxiety, just worried, stressed. I have to keep things good. I have to keep things right. And it literally, the watershed moment was taking a moment to look at how I was living, behaving, acting in the world, and the circumstances that this agreement had created. And that's really the first step, because you could know something intellectually. That's a heck of a lot different than taking the time to say, wait a minute, what is this doing to me? A really deep observation. And Janice, I would submit to you that kind of tap dancing around these folks, it's really not about, it feels like it's about them, it looks like it's about them, but this has everything to do with you not wanting to experience the discomfort involved in opening your mouth, advocating for what you want. And it's so uncomfortable for you by this point in your life because it's a full-blown orientation. It's the way you see, feel, and experience the world. And so I'm asking you to begin to move from writing with your left hand to your right hand. That's, if you've ever tried that, that's a really, it just feels so uncomfortable. It's like it's not that I can't do it, it's just so uncomfortable. And I can imagine if I keep using, my right hand, that's going to get more easier and easier, but it's just, I don't even want to feel that level of discomfort. And I believe, only Janice, but it's that discomfort involved in making your way to those real and true authentic spaces in your life. So I really want you to begin by taking a good hard look. You need to get in a quiet place, have someone maybe keep an eye on the baby for a while, and really drill down, what has my life become and what does it look like based on these agreements inside of the stories, inside of this orientation that I am living out. So that's number one. It does take courage, but I'll tell you, at the end of the day, accommodating people, compromising, that's one thing. We all need to make some adjustments in life, but betraying your truth and who and what you are, living in a house that you don't want to live in, you're in the process of creating a family that you had a different vision and you're going along with, that's different than a compromise That's literally betraying your truth. Downloaded within you is a map. These are the things that are my value system. These are the things that matter most. This is what I need to thrive and make solid contributions in the world. And you living out this agreement is preventing you from entering that real and true and authentic space in your life. And I've worked with too many people, and they look up, they come to it at some point, but it's like, geez, Sheila, at this point, I'm lucky if I have a few more years. I don't, I'm a firm believer, when you know better, you do better. It's as simple as that. And now, Janice, especially today, I stopped to make a message for you. Now there's really no excuse. You know better. When we get information, it's so powerful because it allows us to move the puzzle pieces of life around. So now wow, what agreement have I made? What story have I been living out? And this is making me averse to that discomfort of moving from the left hand to the right hand. Okay. And so secondly, I think it's key for all of us, if you want to really live a life that, I love humanity, I love the world. I'm speaking for myself in this moment, but my thoughts, my opinions, how my life is shaped and crafted, you cannot hold conflict with other people or your internal conflict regarding their perceptions. Because anything that you hold conflict with, anything that you're in conflict with, and if you go through my video, this gallery of videos, I've been saying this for years and years. Anything that you hold conflict with is going to be a conflict inside of you. It takes an extreme amount of energy to maintain internal conflict. So what I'm inviting you to do, Janice and everyone else, is just come into a full-bodied level of agreement. I reference my videos in the end cap, acceptance and commitment. Coming into that full-bodied agreement that, this is an area, perhaps it's an area for the rest of your life you're going to need to keep an eye on. And the internal language there is, I accept that for years I have been living out an agreement inside of a story that has become an orientation. I accept that, and I am fully committed to being uncomfortable, doing the work that I need to do to turn it around. There may be times my hands shake, that I may be sweaty, I may be, nervous as anything, but I have to live inside this work. I mean, I've been doing this work for how many years? So many years. I just had to have a very tough, you could call it a conversation / confrontation with someone, and inside of myself, because of how this person has been positioned in my life, I didn't want to do it, but I knew for myself it was something that I had to do, and I was very nervous. I, stumbled over a couple of words, and you guys hear me, now, oh, you stumble over a couple of words. Yes, I did. Everyone has, we all have our challenges, and in that moment, because of the circumstance, the internal coaching within myself was, what? It's not about doing this in a pitch perfect way. Guess what, girlfriend? You're here at the table, you're living out your truth, and you're in a very authentic space, and you need to go ahead and do just that. And I did the internal coaching. I got through it. Did that exchange go well? By normal standards, no. But by the standard, my standard, and living into that authenticity and just being able to have that exchange, that was a win. And I will tell you, that's fine that it was not tied up in a nice bow, happy ending. But what mattered was, what, this is where I am in my life. I'm bringing this to you. And we're not going to play the tap dance kind of thing. So this work is, as far as I'm concerned, the work of life. And I'll tell you, Janice, and everyone else, you have to decide, is living a life of emotional freedom and confidence, is that a fair trade for you? Are you willing to trade off kind of this perceived safety zone, not rock the boat, be ultra concerned with what they think, just keep that locked down over there? Is that worth it for you at this point in time? Or do you say, you know what, there's going to be some upset, the boat's going to get rocked, but at the same time, I'm living my authentic life. That is one of the most incredible feelings, and it just drives more clarity. It drives more confidence. So lastly, I want you to repurpose in my video, and I'll reference this on the end cap too, managing emotional triggers, the power of that. And I talk about repurposing the discomfort of life. So whereas before, Janice, for me, it was, oh my God, that discomfort and being direct and advocating for what I wanted, that was my sign to stop. It's not worth it. My heart is beating faster. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm feeling trapped. I'm feeling caught. That was my sign. Just shut it down. You can end this now. Just cave. And I would do it. And now that is, it's almost delightful in a way, because it's like, this is that muscle being worked. The juices are churning. It means you're right on track. You're right on, like that's the green light feeling now. You're right on track. You got that thing going on in your stomach. That means you're right on track, and you need to continue doing what you're doing. Open, transparent, candid levels of communication inside of your truth. So, at the end of the day, and this is a channel, certainly spiritual. We talk about the practical, the implementation. I give you some, clinical bits and nuggets to chew on. I would be remiss, and you've heard me say this so many times in my other videos. This is not work that you have to do by yourself. It really is not. Once I went into deeper levels of understanding in terms of spiritual support and what that is and what it could look like, it has changed the landscape of everything. You have every single option to call on and call in the hand of God, and your angels, they wait for the ask, and they will come into action. Well, Sheila, what does that look like? Is celestial music gonna play in the backdrop? No, this is what it looks like. It looks like that internal support. When you just don't think I can, there may be an image or a word that comes to your mind. A peace comes through your spirit that allows you to move forward in the face of that hesitation. We're talking about the inflow of a pure, positive, supportive energy that is available to all of us. It's just that for a variety of reasons, we don't always access it as often as we should. You access it every day, access it multiple times a day. So, Janice, I hope something that I've said here has made a difference for you, because truly, you have circumstances going on that you've opened the door to it, but you're doing things in life that you don't want to do. And these are the tips, suggestions, and nuggets, certainly the formula I used to, enjoy some deep level transformation. And speaking of transformation, everyone, you know that my Tools Not Talk circles, empowerment, and learning circles, these journeys are amazing. It's a 12-week course. You get the coaching, you get access to the learning portal. We come together in supportive groupings. I have 3 of those launching shortly this month. So check out the link below. I'd love to have you be a part of that. And I will be back with some more amazing content shortly. Please don't forget to subscribe and share the news of the channel with your friends and family. Thank you so much.